Hello and welcome. I'm Deanne, and this is how to get out of your own way, whether it's thought patterns or behaviors or energy patterns, like merging with everybody, feeling everybody in a room and not being able to settle down until everybody's okay or satisfied with you. We're going to work on transforming that part of you, which is different than trying to annihilate that part. So a lot of times we just want to get rid of that energy. But the thing is, it's part of you. And the beauty of getting to show up as 100% of you is that you'll feel more vitality. You'll feel more clear about your decisions because you're there, right? It's all in there instead of separating yourself from parts of you. So our urge can be to annihilate, but really when we transform the part, it becomes our ally. It becomes part of those inner signals so that we can feel that wisdom come from within, whether that's about like an item of clothing that you want to wear or food you want to eat or friendships, people to get close to or a business deal to make. It certainly is advantageous when we can sense our inner GPS, right? Our inner wisdom, which is our intuition. And we get guided for everyday decisions from that. So welcome. Please come as you are. For some of you, that may mean that you wanted to smudge or put on particular music or set up an altar space, something that reminds you of your intention. But for this part, we're going to keep it simple. So please come as you are and make this process for you. And that may mean that during the meditation, I guide you in certain places and you maybe were hanging out and enjoying what you were doing, then hang out there. Make it your own process. You may already know the intention that you want to set, but maybe a big list of them comes. And so just give yourself a moment to either bring to mind what you had already decided you're going to work on, or give yourself a moment to let it surface. And if you already knew, then just sit with that and notice that that's your intention. And either way, ask yourself, what wants to grow in me today? What does my soul want me to know? Isn't that the goal of all of us, to evolve in a way that instead of being a soul in this human body that they feel very separate, but to be more aligned, to be able to live who you are, like the true essence of yourself, to be and live your true nature. So just listening from within, whatever surfaces, or maybe you see it play out, or you hear it play out, this aspect of yourself that you want to work on transforming as opposed to annihilating. And when you're ready, let your curiosity serve you. Curiosity activates a particular part of our brain that will help access new information during this whole process. So anytime you can say, oh, that's interesting how that just came, or oh, that's how I'm feeling it. Like staying in curiosity will serve you. So go ahead and observe this part. Observe it's like as if it was something you're watching on a movie, or observe it as if it was a different person, if that's helpful to you. Observe it when it's at its best, when it's being itself. And notice how you would feel or think towards someone who is experiencing this. Would you be hating on them? Would you think, wow, it's going to be tough? Would you feel any amount of compassion towards them? So as you observe this part, notice your assessment or your judgment of it. And then I want you to get even closer and step into that role. Allow yourself to completely merge with it, not just observe it, but merge with it. Embody the energy of the vulnerable part. And maybe you can only step in for a moment or two before you're like, ew, this is so uncomfortable. Just for now, see if you can hang out in it as if, because it's going to give you really valuable information. Just feel it. Feel your mannerisms. Hear what it says to you. Hear and feel how it presents itself to the outside world. Notice how it's interacting. Continue to observe curiously. Notice what it wants to draw towards itself or what it's trying to get away from. And with that curiosity, notice what it seems like it's all for. Notice the positive intention of all this, whether it's frantic behavior or thoughts or the energy merging. Sense and feel its positive intention. And continue to listen to it and be it. And hear yourself say, I just want. Notice what comes. I just want. And I want that so that. What is it hoping will happen if it accomplishes? And answer that with, so that, I just want everybody to be happy so that then I can feel okay or I can rest so that whatever it said it wants, answer that with so that a few times and keep going until it's not about the other, the situation or the others anymore. It's about so that I'll get to feel or I'll get to be or I get to accomplish. And then what's the sense of self that results in that? So that I feel like I'm okay as I am, or then I finally feel peace. Or I know I matter. Or I feel good enough as I am. Or I feel acceptable. I belong. So notice what it's intending. And if you need more time, feel free to pause. Then you're going to bring in some love, bring in some support for this part that is trying so hard. And even though you may not like this part, hopefully some part of you by now can have some compassion that this part has not been liked by you because it got chosen today, right? And yet it has still been persistent in trying to accomplish something for you. And so if you can't, if your highest and best self doesn't have kindness or compassion for this part, then bring in the web of light if you know what that is, or any other, like imaginal grandma or your dog, or if there's someone you pray to, or someone you remember from another time in your life, perhaps a nice neighbor from early on in your life. But invite something to be there for this vulnerable part so that it's not alone in its journey. It's probably not been very easy for it. probably exhausting or lonely. It's been doing this job for a long time. And so notice how this other radiates from their heart or looks at you or feels towards you. And just let them be present. And together, we're going to bring this one on a journey. Starting with imagining yourself just as you are. So with this vulnerable part, imagining yourself taking a walk in the woods. And notice as you stroll, beginning to deepen your breath. And notice if you feel the moisture from the woods. Here in the Pacific Northwest, that may come with ease, feeling the moisture. But also smell the trees, the bushes, perhaps even some blooms. Notice what you smell. And as you continue strolling, you're going to see a little animal trail that you get curious about and begin to follow it. As you let your eyes follow the animal trail, notice that you can tell up ahead that the woods are more sparse, that there's an opening. And you get a little excited. You're like, I wonder what's over there. And allow yourself to walk to that clearing. Continue to deepen your breath. But only walk as fast as you can continue to notice your breath. And when you get to the clearing, notice the meadow. Go ahead and look around and notice the blooms, the plants that are there. Notice the fresh feeling of this air out in the woods here. Perhaps after a spring rain so that there's not pollen in the air. And as you walk out into the meadow, just feel the freedom of the spaciousness around you. Notice that the only place you are is in this meadow. That there's really no dishes that can get done or homework or tasks because from this meadow, those things aren't here. It's just you. Whatever parts of you were able to come here. So as you walk out into the meadow, whether the sun is out or not, there's light. So feel the light. And notice, even just putting your intention on the light, that it gets more clear to you. And whether it's a ray of light or like a rainbow of light, translucent color, or it's surrounding the whole meadow, notice how the light is coming to you. And maybe you can feel the folks from your web of light surrounding you as well, sending radiant love and light from their heart to yours. And your thinking mind may occasionally ask, what does this have to do with this aspect of myself I want to get rid of? And just allow the thinking mind to do what it does. And then allow your attention to return to your breath while you're experiencing this light. Just for now. And holding the intention that you are asking for help to transform this aspect of yourself. What is it my soul wants me to know? What is it that wants to grow in relation to this aspect of myself? When you recognize what is it trying, what's the positive intention, you might also ask, how else do I get peace or calm, or how else can I feel important if not through that behavior? Please show me, or I'm open to learning. And again, just following the breath. And as you take in this breath, feel that light. Feel the light wave that has come. And as this air fills you more and more, and as this light permeates your skin and fills your body, notice you are getting lighter and lighter to where you start to float. And then you start to notice that depending on where you direct yourself or how you open your arms, that you can fly. And as you go up into the tree, there's an eagle there, and it takes flight, and it's flying next to you. Fly with the eagle. And notice it's showing you the perspective from up there. It invites you to merge with it if you would like to see how it can hone in on something so specific, like lunch or blades of grass moving. It can hone in on seeing what really matters, what serves it. And at the same time, it can hold that broad perspective, riding the wave of the wind. Play with the eagle. And notice that you and the eagle now are flying even higher up into the cosmos, up to the stars, and you feel their light. You may even sense that their light is ever so different, kind of like the radio dial, that the stars have some different energy. And notice which ones you feel more drawn to, that the pulse of their light, the frequency of their light feels good to you, almost like when you get in a hot shower after a cold day, it's like, on your skin. And notice which particular star stands out and can offer its energy, offer its frequency for you to bathe in. And once you are done bathing with the star, notice that all the light from the stars are like rays, beams like that rainbow back down to the earth. And so you can slide down that, or you can fly through it. on back down with the eagle. Perhaps you sit up in the tree with the eagle for a moment. And as you're ready, coming back down to the earth, letting yourself rest there in the meadow. Just being. Continuing to vibrate with the light that you received. Continuing to feel remnants from flying. And continuing to fill your lungs with breath from that clean air. And asking yourself, what wants to grow in me? How can I nurture this vulnerable part of me? Everything you've experienced so far is part of your answer. But how will you nurture this vulnerable part? It could be that every time it starts its pattern, you go to the experience or some aspect of the experience you had today. Or it could be that every time it starts its pattern, that you go to the information you got about its goal when you said, I just want so that, so that, so that. You could say, oh, hey, I recognize I'm trying to get to a place of calm, or, oh, hey, I recognize that I'm doing that thing where I think that if this, then that. And you ask yourself, what is a more direct way I can experience that now? Or what advice would I give a friend who's trying to get that end result? Would I say, do that thought pattern or behavior I've been doing? Or might I have some updated ideas? So giving thanks in your own way on these last breaths. Just bringing this experience with you. For some of you, you may have a clear objective or clear information, and others, you'll just sit in the contemplation. How do I want to nurture this vulnerable part of me now? And so next time we'll use the same 5 steps. Our step number 4 will be water next time. But use any of the ones that are more fitting for you, the web of light, the mountain or earth, and this time air. And we'll see you next time.